Most of us are born on the line. And we work our ass off to stay on the line. Because, reality, inflation, and the life itself, how that go, the game of life itself, is a trick. But it keeps going forward and up, never backwards and down. And it's never settling either. But that's just life. That's reality. You're here for a reason. That reason is unspecified and unclear until you clear it up. Look into it. And see what it's about. So to unprogram yourself is not to follow reality. It's not to be like everybody else. It's not to keep up with the Joneses, but to be self, be you, who you are. What up, everybody? Welcome to Talk 2025. Our bag this year, going deep some weeks, talking about regular trending topics. But it is a vibration. And we're here to hold the vibe, you know what I'm saying? So all my new subs, big up. My new watchers, tap in, subscribe. You know what I mean? But today, we're going to talk about how to unprogram yourself from the matrix. How do we unprogram from the matrix? Reality-based talk today, so tap in, like and share, subscribe, and I'll catch you after the intro. You know what I mean? Jono style. CLP. What up, everybody? How was all doing? Hope all is well. And if not, hope we get back on track sooner than later. Sick and out there thing, you know what I mean? I know a star. Welcome to Talk 2025. 2025 was a special year, man. Because it's the year of now. It's right now, What's going on in the world? Who would have thought? Did he sure get spanked? Whoever is in bed with, whoever he went up against, they ain't playing with Diddy. You notice that? He beat the Rico, but he's still locked up, and he got to sit there. They're speculating, though, is he going to do 20 years, 10 years for those two charges? He's going to get time served. What's gonna happen? I guess we're gonna have to wait until October, they say. The bad guy. If that's like a movie, right? Diddy's the bad guy right now. Because at every corner he thought he was gonna get out, have something planned and ready to go, but he's locked, he's sitting. It's crazy, man. 2025, Well, that's the world stage, though. Something was always going on, Yeah, it's a distractive thing. Yeah, it's to get you off your track. Remember, the world stage go along with the programming you received as a youngin'. Because it's all part of this matrix. It's all part of the game. All the TV programming, all walks of life, but not the real truth about life. They give you so many different scenarios. When you get older, you not know what to think if you're not a solid person. If you're not feeling your vibe and what you're into yourself, if you're not understanding who you are, you get caught up. Caught up in the distraction of the world stage, caught up in all kinds of mischievous adventures. Just like a scammer taking you for a ride. Or those 3 cars dealers, you know. We are in the matrix, man. And it's about life and your liberty and the life you want to live. So it's up to you to put the work in to get yourself in that position where you can enjoy this experience. You know what I mean? Gain in this experience. And see it and live it and see it for what it's worth. But the setup's been on since we were born. We're born into this sentence. We're born into this matrix. And it's set up. You know what I mean? For you to fall prey and be victim. You know what I'm saying? For everyone, there's a scenario. What is your scenario? You know what I'm saying? And then with that scenario, it's how you be and who you are. What is what you've learned over the years, what you see, what you've picked up through life, through your atmosphere, your environment, you know? And if you go along with the regular program, the regular school teachings, you know, what society has to offer, they might just get caught up and fall victim from all the rhetoric, all the misdirection, all the uninformed, the non-information, the misleading information, you know? It's almost like a program you get run through. If you're born into, you get run through in different generations before. But if you can feel a vibe, you can see the difference, you know? You can start to unprogram yourself from society, means and ways and how to. Because society can sure get you trapped up. You know? Society is set for a struggle if you're not prepared. If you're not solid within self, you can lose to the game. You can get caught up in all kinds of things. Because not knowing the history, not knowing self-worth, not knowing information about life itself, you know? You know what I say? Those schools want to teach us about life, teach us about financial literacy. You know what I'm saying? The most important thing in reality. They don't teach us that stuff. Most of us born in poverty. Most of us born on the line. And we work our ass off to stay on the line. Because, you know, reality, inflation, and the life itself, how that go, the game of life itself, is a trick. But it keeps going forward and up, never backwards and down. And it's never settling either. But that's just life. That's reality. Matter of fact, that's existence. Always moving forward. Never backwards. Only people go backwards is we ain't not paying attention and we ain't get caught up in some kind of reality trap. You know? Get stuck. But the game of life is to play. You don't want to get stuck. You don't want to get trapped, but it's all around. You know? Your whole life, you think one way. The schools taught you a certain way, and that's all you know. So now you're in the matrix. You're part of the matrix. You're with the matrix. But today, I wanted to talk about how do you unprogram yourself from the matrix. You know? Be in society, but not off society, and not go on like everything that's around. Once you know that everything you're taught was misleading, forgiven, and nothing to improve you or get you with yourself to understanding who you are. We've been taught a whole bunch of lies about history. We've been taught hate, distraction, everything else but the truth about life itself, about history itself, about existence itself. Sidebar, even NASA is telling stories and making things up. They not even true. And NASA is just like a movie. It's like the movies, like a movie studio with sets. That's what NASA is. You know what I'm saying? That's not even real. Because if you think about our reality, think about our Earth, all we can really go off is the vibration and how we feel. They say water's above, water's below. And then move on to the next subject. What does that mean when they say water's above, water's below? They say oxygen. Without that, we don't live. And in a way, that's true, because we need to breathe, right? Without air, we cannot live. So air is life itself. But how do you unprogram yourself? You know? It's about finding understanding. Hey, friend. Hey. What's the truth about everything, you know? And it's like you're starting to hear things that you don't normally hear, things that make you wonder, and now you start questioning things. Questioning reality itself. Seeking, finding the reasons what life's about. How do you unprogram yourself in this matrix that we are in? Society's moving one way, but you're not feeling certain things. You're looking at reality and thinking about reality, and you know and you feel something is up. Feels like we're in a setup, right? Feels like we're in a system that's set up to throw you off, keep you subservient. Even if you get ahead a little bit, with the wrong information, you're not gonna advance. You're gonna always have a little inclination and thoughts and wondering why. But it's how you're programmed from the television, from the school system, from the rhetorics, in reality. So once you start inclining to find the truth about things and just see what's really going on, you're going to come across information. You're going to hear information. And I say, what resonates with you, resonates deep within your soul. You can feel that vibration. And from that vibe, you can go on and seek more information and more. That's how you start programming yourself. By understanding and knowing the truth. Sometimes it just comes from within. And that belief is in how you feel about certain things. Remember now, we have a legacy. We're coming from a legacy. Information within our DNA. The DNA is within us, so we have to go within sometimes. And when information that's in the atmosphere comes to you and you can hear it loud and clear, then you have to look at it. Especially if some certain things resonate with you once you hear that. We hear things all the time. You don't know where it comes from. But I truly believe what resonates with you, what you hear, that's what it is. And that's what you got to look into and incline to that. You know? We all here for a reason. That reason is unspecified and unclear until you clear it up. Look into it. So to unprogram yourself is not to follow reality. It's not to be like everybody else. It's not to keep up with the Joneses, but to be self, be you, who you are. And seek and find the answers about self, what you about. Because what you about, you're going to find your place in reality, in society, and take it further, and more, you know? This is life, y'all. The Matrix 2. So you gotta do the work if you want to separate and unprogram yourself by seeking the answers, seeking information, go within. You know what I'm saying? Tap in and hold the vibe. Because we are having a life journey. You know what I'm saying? I just happen to got in this lane of wanting to know, needing to know, understanding us, understanding the vehicle of the human beings, but the overall essence of life. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, walk and talk. We just take it to certain levels. You know what I mean? Reality itself, life itself. We want to live good. And on this journey of life, you never know what's next. But you gotta be prepared, you know what I mean? So yeah, man. Walk and talk. I know it's style.